Alright guys, we are going to finish the exponent rules notes, and then we're going to get on to, we're going to keep going to exponentials, but we're going to finish exponents today. So that's going to be on 88 and 89. So we're going to go ahead and label those, and then we'll come back and glue stuff in there. So 88 and 89 are going to be 14.3. So let's go ahead and turn. I should have turned. So 88, 14.3, division properties of exponents. And 89 is the same. So go ahead and label your pages. Then we'll get started. We'll come back and glue them in here. Okay, so there's 88. There's 89. And let's get started on the foldables that are included at the bottom of this video. This video and these two lessons will finish out our exponent rules unit. The rules for exponents, like the rules for multiplication. In multiplication, when we had two exponents with the same base, we added. Well, we're going to do the same thing. So we've got, well, not the same thing, but we're going to do the opposite. Just like multiplication is the opposite operation of addition, of division, we are going to have addition and subtraction, or our inverse operations. So our bases are the same. So the rule is x, the base, is a minus b. So we're going to do that on all of these. Remember, our goal is also to never have a negative exponent. So in example 1, we have the same bases. So we're going to have s, and we're going to do 6 minus 4, which is positive 2. So there's our answer to that question. Remember, if it does not have an exponent, it is a 1. So I have y to the 1 minus 6, which is negative 5. I don't want negative exponents, so I'm going to remember that exponent rule. It says I can put it on the bottom in the denominator of a fraction. So I have 1 over y to the 5th. Okay. Example 3 is a little different because I have numbers. If those numbers do not reduce, I'm just going to write them back down. 3 to the 5th. I'm going to erase this. I might need it in a moment, but I've got then n. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. I mean, it's going to go in the denominator. It's currently in the numerator. I have a 3, and I have 5, and this needs to go in the denominator, so n. I don't put O to the first power because it's understood. I don't have to write it down. Alright, and last with this rule is example 4. Z to the, I've got 4 minus negative 3, which is the same as 4 plus 3, so z to the 7th. That is the power, the quotient of powers rule. Now let's talk about power of a quotient. This is very similar to one of the multiplication rules we had, where it's like the distributive property. The exponent goes with x, the exponent goes with a. So I have x to the a over y to the a. Remember, when we do this, we are, like the distributive property, multiplying. So I have c to the 12th over c to the 9th. Now we need to use the rule we just learned. c, 12 minus 9 is 3. c to the 3rd power. We won't always be able to simplify these, only if it's the same base, remember. Okay, so 3, that is s to the 3rd over s to the 12th. So that is s3 minus 12 is negative 9. That means I need to put it in the denominator of a fraction, 1 over s to the 9th. Again, raise it to each. 7 to the 4th over 7 to the 12th. which is 7. 4 minus 12 is negative 8. 1 over 7 to the 8th. I could find this out. It's going to be a very large number, so I'm actually going to leave it. That is the point of exponents, is to, they shorten numbers for us. That's why scientific notation exists. So we're just going to leave it as 1 over 7 to the 8th for this one. Alright, this one, you need to make sure that you place the exponent, or distribute it, if you will, to everything inside, every piece. That means it's 8 to the 3rd, b to the 18th, 3 to the 3rd, b to the 3rd. I am going to go ahead and find out what 8 to the 3rd is, because I might be able to simplify 8 to the 3rd and 3 to the 3rd. I'm not sure if I will or won't. 5/12 over 3 to the 3rd, 81. I cannot simplify that, so I'll just have to move on. Alright, then I've got b to the 18 minus 3, 15. And there's my solution for that. In class, we would have done these a little separately. We would have done the first 4 on day 1, the next 2 on day 2. But we're going to go ahead and do some problems that match these. So the first set, 1 through 5, is talking about the first rule, quotient of powers. So number 1, we leave our numbers alone. Then we are going to have k, negative 4 minus negative 2 is negative 2. So I know I'm not done because I have a negative exponent. Bring your 3 and your 2 back over. This k to the negative 2 transitions to the denominator, and it becomes a positive 2. I'm then finished. Same process on number 2. If I were you, I would pause this and try number 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. But number 2, I've got 6 over 9. But before I move on with that, 6 over 9 actually reduces to 1 over 3. Excuse me, 2 over 3. It's one of those nice little mistakes. And then I have negative 5, I've got k, negative 5 minus 1. That is negative 6. Which means I'm not done. K to the 6th needs to come to the denominator. Number 3. 3 to the 9 also reduces, and it is actually 1/3 instead of up there like I said. Okay. And I'm now looking specifically at the things that are alike. I've got k. 5 minus 2 is 3. I'm not going to have to move that one. And then I've got c all by itself right here, so I'm just going to write c to the 4th. Since c had no common base, I just bring it back where it's at currently. Okay. Number 4. 3 over 7 does not reduce. I've got r's. This has got a 1 with it, so r 1 minus 2 is negative 1. I'll have to move that in a moment. And then I've got k. 6 minus 4 is 2. So I'm not finished, I know, because I have negative exponents. So I've got 3 and 7. R to the negative 1 needs to change locations. I don't have to put the 1. K squared needs to stay in the same place because it is not a negative exponent. The last one like this is number 5. Again, if I were you, if I was working on these myself, I'd probably pause the video. Okay. I've got an 8 in the denominator, so I'm just going to write it down. Then I have k to the 1st, so 1 minus negative 4 is the same as adding. I have 5, so k to the 5th. S also has a 1, so 1 minus negative 2, s to the 3rd. I do not have any negative exponents. I do not have any numbers that need to be simplified, so I'm finished at that point. 6 through 10 are the power of a quotient rules. So we're going to go ahead and look at 6 through 10. Those are the rules you're using. I would pause it, try some of these on your own. Okay. Number 6, remember, like the distributive property, it goes to every piece. 4 squared into the 6th because you multiply exponents. 7 squared into the 5th there, to the 10th. 7 squared into the 10th. Then I'm going to take care of the numbers. Then I'm going to work with the exponents. I'm kind of going to do it all in the same step there. 4 squared is 16. 7 squared is 49. N to the 6th. So 6, I've got an N. 6 minus 10 is negative 4. I know I'm not done because I have a negative exponent, so it now needs to come to the denominator. I now am finished with that problem. So these are a couple more steps. Same thing. Two to the third, d to the third, 4 to the third, d to the ninth. 2 to the third power is 8, d to the third, over 4 to the third power is 64, d to the ninth. 8 over 64 will actually reduce to 1 over 8. And then I have d to the third and d to the ninth. So 3 minus 9 is negative 6, which means still not quite done. The 1 stays, the 8 stays, but d to the 6th needs to come to the bottom. So also a good time to pause and look at these before you continue. I've got 2 to distribute. C squared, W squared, over 2 squared, C to the 4th, W to the 6th. C, 2 minus 4 is negative 2. W, 2 minus 6 is negative 4. And 2 squared is 4. Still not finished. I got negative exponents. 4 is on the bottom. C to the negative 2 needs to move. W to the negative 4 needs to move. Nothing is left on top, so we have our 1 there. Not nothing, 1 is a number, but all of these have a 1 in front anyway. Last 2, these will take a few more minutes as well, because we're starting to get even more bigger numbers. More stuff going on here. 6 to the 3rd, C to the 6th, B to the 15th, over 2 to the 3rd, C to the 12th, B to the 18th. Okay. 6 to the 3rd power is 216. I'm going to go ahead and take care of my C's as well. 6 minus 12 is negative 6. B's next. We're going to move those around in a minute. 15 minus 18 is negative 3. All over 2 to the 3rd is 8. By the way, 216 divided by 8 does simplify. It is 27. So I have 27. But then on the bottom, I have C to the 6th because we need to get rid of the negative, and B to the 3rd. So C to the 6th, B to the 3rd. Last but not least, number 10. Again, it's got quite a few things going on. 3 to the 3rd, B to the 9th, S to the 2nd, nope, S to the 6th. Don't forget to multiply like I just did. 8 to the third, b to the third, s to the 15th. Simplify. 3 to the third is 81. 9 minus 3 of our b's is 6. 6 minus 15 is negative 9. 8 to the third power is 512, and we're going to need to make sure those simplify or not. We'll look in just a moment. So let's go ahead and do 81 divided by 512. Does not simplify, so 81 and 512 can stay. B to the 6 is positive, so it needs to stay where it is. S to the negative 9 needs to become a positive, so it goes to the bottom. These are a little more work, but you do combine all of the exponent rules in these steps now. That ends our exponent rules lessons.
Alright, now that we've finished these, we're going to go ahead and glue these in. We also need to go back to another page and fill in the rules that we actually learned in this lesson, because I forgot to do that at the beginning. I might have done it. Let's just make sure you've actually put it in there in the right place in your notebook. So there's 88 is where we're putting this one, and then the other page is going to go on 89. And then, like I said, we're going to flip back in our notebook and actually get the rules all in one place in case we didn't or haven't. And you might have. I've done it on your own or whatever. So flip back to page 84. We're going to put the last two rules. Okay. So the first rule here we did a second ago, x and it's a minus b. Do you remember? That's one of the last rules. And the bottom one right here is where we take and we put these in like the distributive property for each. So x over a, x to the a over y to the a. Okay, so make sure you fill in these last two here. They should all be filled in now. I'll zoom out so you can see that they're all filled in now. Fix the lighting. So there's all your rules that we will learn for exponents. Make sure that's filled out. All right, go ahead and get started on whatever the assignment is posted on Google Classroom.